as we step out the cage. We raising all of the stakes. Make no mistake, either you stay in your place.
I'm about that life. Ask P. Diddy. I just came from his house, even though I'm feeling funny after drinking P. Diddy juice. Wait, what the fuck? What's happening here?
I'm playing that twice.
I'm about that life. Ask P. Diddy. I just came from his house, even though I'm feeling funny after drinking P. Diddy juice. Wait, what the fuck? What's happening here?
That is fucking fabulous. Ceren missed that. You gotta play. Whoa, where's that coming from? Did you guys hear like my audio got really loud? It's echoing?
Yes. Yeah, I get it.
I don't know.
Oof. Ceren, mute yourself real quick. Testing. It's on your end. Ceren, it's on your end, that echo. Whatever you just changed or did or whatnot and everything, it made your audio to where I'm echoing. Can you change it back? You changed something. Now I'm echoing on your end. Bad.
I don't know what I did. I mean, I didn't do anything.
Well, mute yourself until I go to you to talk.
I'm trying.
There we go. Thank you. Anyways, folks, I apologize. I'm not going to play that video for Ceren because she's having technical difficulties. But welcome to the Shogun Chapter 7 recap with technical difficulties, obviously, from Jump. Discussion, live stream, recap show. We're the MCU'S YouTube channel podcast. It is Wednesday, 4/10/24, with myself, Jeff S.A.K. TrueKnowledge, creator and co-host of the MCU'S YouTube channel and podcast, and humbled to be. Leading the discussion, Cyber, my co-host, is on the panel with Kim whenever she figures out her technical difficulties or whatever she's got going on. Kim, are you there? With Kim for the Pop Culture Green Room podcast on YouTube channel. Ceren over there in the corner, who's also having some audio issues, but we're going to get that shit straightened out. From Movie Reviews with Ceren podcast and YouTube channel, Imran's back. From Jock and Nerd podcast and YouTube channel. Thank you, Imran, for coming back, brother.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me back.
We're still waiting on Jassim, but Andre's Pop Culture guy is here, ready to redeem himself after his dismal showing on the panel.
I don't care.
On Chapter 6.
I don't care.
Who won last week? I forgot what the points were.
Cyber didn't want to right. Cyber, I don't think you didn't want to put anybody down, but he told me after the show that I won the Shogun Award.
You are the new Tycho, Jeff.
I told you I was going to win it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, and I'm coming strong on the panel next week too. I'm telling you right now. Anyways, speaking of which, listen, we just lost Kim there for a minute, but she'll be back. Bottom line, we've got this whole panel coming on tonight. We're waiting on Wrath of Khan, Jasmine to come on. But besides that, if you enjoy the MCU'S Bleeding Edge, if you enjoy our Shogun, chapter reviews, our recaps, please consider liking, following, subscribing, and turning on all of our notifications on our YouTube channel so that you're aware when we live 3 nights a week or when we, drop reaction videos or whatever. Hey, Jocelyn, what's going on, hon? It's good to see you. Besides that, I hope everyone's doing well. Cyber, you ready to rock and roll, baby?
Hell yeah.
Ceren, it looks like you turned your audio back on and I'm not echoing anymore.
No, she's not back on.
Oh, you're still muted. Oh, you're still muted. Okay, I'm sorry. The screen just changed. Go back to muted. That's rough. I don't know what happened. She was doing, Ceren, your audio was fine, and then for some reason you got up and sat back down, and now all of a sudden whenever we talk, we're echoing really heavily. I don't know if you can hear it or not. If there's anything you can change in your audio settings, try to change it. Maybe Andres can help you out a little bit in the private chat or Cyber or whatever, whatnot. See if you guys can't guide her a little bit, whatnot, help her get
Echo
her
cancellation.
Something, change her output, input, or something on her audio on her end. Something like that, whatever, whatnot. Because I mean, my echo cancellation's on my end, so we did the mute test. We know it's with her, but basically, folks, we are waiting for people to come on, but we're here to do Chapter 7. Coming off Chapter 6 of Shogun. We had Imran on. We had obviously Pop Culture Guy on. Cyber was there. He was moderating, did a great job. We had a great show. We had a great panel. So hats off to Imran. Hats off to Andres. Hats off to Cyber for last week's show. We killed it. It was a great show. Very compact. 2 hours. 2 hours plus. And everybody got good points in and whatnot and everything. And it was just an overall good team effort. So just hats off. Hats off to everybody that's been involved in our Shogun reviews and our recaps. It's been a fun experience. As I already told Cyber, I'm dreading this show ending. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really am. I don't want it to end. I'm almost putting off watching the episodes, like, because I'm like, I could have already watched Chapter 8, but I don't want to. Yeah. Because I'm kind of putting it off. But so I'll start, as we're waiting for the other people to come on, I'll start off with an opening question. Now that everybody's had a chance to have some time to reflect on Chapter 6 and our conversation from Chapter 6. There you go. Great job, Ceren. Great job, Cyber. What are y'all's thoughts on Chapter 6 with some time, put behind you, whatnot, going into Chapter 7? Kind of where you were at coming off Chapter 6, going into Chapter 7. Since we've reflected on this a week later. I'll start with you, Imran. What did you think when you had some time to digest Chapter 6 a little bit longer in our whole discussion?
I mean, it's still an amazing episode, and I felt like we were going to get a little more Toranaga because we didn't really get that much with him. They took a side story, but then we got a lot of Lady Ochiba and a whole episode learning about her, and then kind of just showing us what everybody else is doing. So sometimes you gotta slow down and focus. And then we jump back into the chess game. So it was a good setup.
Imran, your audio is going in and out now.
Oh. What is happening?
I swear you went in and out. Simon, did you hear that?
Yeah. It was weird. It was like he was fine, and then all of a sudden it was like he was talking, all of a sudden.
Do you want to?
How's it going?
You sound fine now. Do you want to go back and repeat that, because we lost you a couple times during that?
No, I just said can you hear me? Does it sound okay now?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay. All I said real quick was it was great to kind of slow down and meet two characters and spend time with them. So that made me think we're gonna get back into the chess game and get more from other characters this week. But it's a little jarring not to have like any Lady Ochiba stuff after all that wonderful Lady Ochiba stuff.
I thought the same thing. That's what I thought too, that it was kind of disappointment that they didn't have her in Chapter 7. Andres, what are your thoughts on Chapter 6 now that you had a week to digest the review that we did last week? Like going into Episode 7 of your Chapter 7, what were your thoughts?
I mean, it's not my favorite out of the episodes we had so far for Shogun, but it's still a good character development for the two major female characters that we have for the show, which was good. So, I mean, this episode was very differently into it. But I do agree with Imran that it was good to see Tanaka in a bigger role. So that part I'm very excited to talk about with you guys.
Okay. Ceren, what were your thoughts? I know you weren't on the last week's discussion, but what were your thoughts coming off Chapter 6? Since you weren't on our review of Chapter 6, what were your thoughts coming off Chapter 6 going into Chapter 7?
Can someone mute their phone, please? It's very annoying.
Somebody's phone is going.
But I really enjoyed it. I noticed that Chapter 7 is shorter than Chapter 6, from the runtime wise, and I really liked Chapter 6. I didn't really like Chapter 7. I don't know why, even though I watched it a few times. But I don't know, something is very off about it, even though it has great moments, which obviously we'll talk about. But I prefer Chapter 3 even, or 4 than 6 or 7.
Okay. Well, you're just being honest, so there's nothing wrong with that. Cyber, Kim's having some technical difficulties on her end, and Jasmine's just going to be a little bit late. But basically, Cyber, I'll round this out with you. what were your thoughts? I know you're already up to chapter 8, but what were your thoughts coming off our last show on chapter 6, going into chapter 7? Now that you had some time to digest it a little bit longer.
I find chapter 6 just as entertaining as it was before. I don't, after watching 7 and watching 8, I don't feel any difference between 6, 7, and 8. I think they're all very powerful episodes. So I think 6 is just as great. It's nice to have a little more information, contrasting with 6. So that was very nice to kind of get a better understanding of chapter 6. But I still think chapter 6 is a very solid episode.
Okay, and I'll tell you, really quickly that on my end, Andres, the pop culture guy, made a good point that we didn't really talk about last week. When he mentioned there being some like filler aspects to like chapter 6, I thought chapter 7 had some filler aspects to it. I did.
Sure. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to ask the panel for the next question before we get into the actual breakdown and episode, of the chapter, scene to scene. I just wanted to ask one more question, and I'll start with you, Ceren. I feel like chapter 7 was probably maybe the most filler-ish episode or chapter so far of the show. What would you agree or disagree?
I would agree. And chapter 7 follow that.
Okay. Andres?
Yeah, I guess I do kind of agree with that. Because, we're like back and forth with the Christmas sky, Christmas sky that they're calling it, and I'm like, when it's gonna happen, But I guess now it's gonna happen.
Did you say Christmas, sir? It's not Christmas time yet, sir.
No. I was like Christmas red, like Christmas tie. I don't know. It's just like, oh my god. Anyway, sorry. Just thinking about the new Joker trailer. It was really good. Anyway,
okay. I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that. It's pretty good. Anyway, so I'm just kind of
see that, folks. We already went from Joker to Santa Claus to Merry Christmas on Andres' first, or second fucking question on the panel, whatever, on the show tonight. You see this shit? Are you noticing? Are you noticing the trends here, Imran?
Yeah. Yes.
No, Aaron, don't.
Catching on from last week to this week. There's points involved.
Anyway, I'm so sorry, folks. It's just Wednesday. Anyway, no, I agree with you, Jeff. I think it does feel still filler because it's like, when are we gonna get to the war that we were supposed to be seeing? But it's again, you have to understand, it's this very political game with these characters, and the fact that this episode we brought another new character, into the chapters, which we'll get into, that caused this episode to feel more filler. So that's the whole reason. But I prefer this. Yeah, so I prefer this episode over episode 6 because at least this episode, the setup makes a lot of sense because we're focusing on Tanaka as the character, and it's more important than what episode 6 was. Well, episode 6 is important in the future. Like, that's the thing. Like, I wonder where we're gonna pick up, these plot threads from 6 and 7.
Just admit it. You like 7 better because it was more Fuji.
Oh, that's true. Well, yeah, that is true.
See? It's that simple. More Fuji, and the episode's better. So, Cyber, what do you think, sir? Fillerish episode?
Well, fillerish to me is when it gives you information that is not essential to expand the story. So I feel that between the last 3 episodes, they're not fillerish for me. They are expanding on what we don't already know about certain characters. Hence, getting more information about, Mariko, getting more information about Fuji, getting more information about Toranaga, all that kind of stuff. So when it's a filler episode, I feel it generally is information that you kind of already know, but at the same time, it feels very fillerish to some. For me, it just didn't feel like that. I found it very entertaining. I found it very informative, and I found that it didn't feel like it was like a filler episode for me.
Andres and I always look at filler episodes as like the turning point episodes of like a 6-episode Disney Plus series, for instance, like episode 5 or 4 that sets up the finale, right? Would be your typical fillerish episode spot. And a 10-episode arc or 9-episode arc you expect it to be episodes or chapters 6 or 7 or 8, where you might have some setup or some expositional episodes that pop up, right? Where it's just a turning point, right? Setting up for the next arc of the story or whatever, right, Imran? And so going the same question to you.
Cyber is right. You get filler episodes back in the day in TV seasons that were like 24 episodes. And a filler episode is where nothing happens that advances the plot. This episode, big things happen, right? There's a betrayal. There's a huge decision. There's a death of a character.
So you don't think is it at least viable to just use the term fillerish? That's why I call it fillerish, right?
I mean,
do you understand why I enunciate it that way when I say fillerish?
Last episode I think is more filler because it was backstory. This one they're moving the chess pieces. They made a couple of moves. They're getting ready for what's to come. So I thought, but now I would defend. I don't think it's a filler episode at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's your right to have that opinion. Oh, there's Kim. Hopefully she got her shit straightened out. There she is. Hey, Kim.
Hey, I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, don't be sorry. You got on. That's all that matters.
I did. I had to put the StreamYard app on my phone. I was like, let me just do it with my phone.
We were actually just going around the panel, Kim, and I was asking everybody, who do you think's got a bigger dick? Yabushiki or Blackfoot?
How did I know you were going to say that?
I think Blackfoot does, but I favor him. Or
I know, that's why I asked you the question. You know what I'm saying? What do you think, Ceren? Who's got the bigger private part down there? Yabushiki or with this loincloth or Blackfoot? Who's got the longer sword?
Blackstone, Blackfoot, Blackstone, Blackthorn.
Blackfoot.
We named him. Yes, sir. We called him like all kinds of different names.
Blackseed oil.
Blackbeard as well.
Yeah.
What do you think? So you're picking Blackfoot on that one? You think Blackfoot's probably got the bigger cannon?
Oh, hell yeah.
What do you think, Imran?
Look, you just got to look at the bulge, right? It tells the whole story.
Yo, Yabushiki's bulge was impressive. What do you think,
Some of the bulges are pretty big. So
you like that? Sure. That was a big bulge, right?
There are some impressive bulges on the show. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, I can't make a decision on the spot here.
Andres, could you pull off that loincloth like Yabushiki?
No, yeah, you're funny. What was the other nephew, the other general's nephew that was with the other
Omi?
Yeah, Omi. Yeah, that other kid had big big things as well. So I think he's the perfect candidate.
He looks like the kind of guy that would have a big dog. You know what I'm saying? Omi does, with his fucking stupid haircut and shit, whatnot. What do you think, Cyber? Who's packing bigger heat? Yabushiki or Blackfoot?
This is the question that I just wouldn't care about. I don't think either of them. We got to take into account that for a bulge, it could be all balls. So it could be so many different things.
Oh, so you think Yabushiki could just have really big balls? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Who gives a shit?
I do. I find this matters to people.
I think Kiku cares. I think if you're Kiku, this is a very
women I can see it caring, but we're dudes.
Women, that's what I'm saying. Well, there's women in our audience and whatnot. These things need to be discussed and flushed out for them. You know what I'm saying? Whatnot, right?
I think Blackthorn might be a great lovemaker, and to Marika that may matter. I mean, not to everybody. To me, it doesn't matter. To Marika, it may matter.
I'm gonna bump up your microphone a little bit, Kim, so I can make you a little bit louder and see if I can do that.
Okay. Is this? I'm trying to position my.
Oh, you're actually when you got closer there, you sounded better there. Just so you know.
Okay. Right here.
But no, I was impressed by Yabushiki. He certainly doesn't have any insecurities with his masculinity. Because when he rocked that loincloth and everything and whatnot, with all them dudes around and shit, whatnot, he just took his coat off and shit, whatnot.
He's like, I'm getting into hot.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's like, what's up? That was a nice looking loincloth too. Seriously, that was a stylish one. But Kim, it's good to see you. You got here right when we were about to get into the actual breakdown of the episode. So I'll go to you first. When we start our first round of questions. But we start off with a flashback scene, and I'm going to ask a question off of that flashback scene. And it's when we were introduced with the Mizuguchi character and we see that great battle, that end of the battle scene from the trailer, right? Where the guy cuts the head off and shit and whatnot. Really well shot, and they're all in their Shogun armor and shit and whatnot for battle. And he says a great line, because fate is something that is connected throughout the whole episode. The word fate and the term fate is used in multiple conversations. It was fate that forced me into declaring an unwinnable war. And I'll tell you, Cyber, this is the first series we've done since Andor where I want to write down quotes during my outlines again. Right? The last time I wanted to do this was Andor, where I would actually remember I would write down the speeches and shit and whatnot that Luthen gave and whatnot, all that shit and whatnot, when I would read them. It's like that's how I am when I'm doing Shogun. Like I find myself wanting to write down the actual quotes of what some of the actual characters say because the writing is so good. But this was baby-faced Toranaga as a kid, his first battle, his first win, and we actually get our first sequence where we see Seppuku being done all the way through, right? And it is pretty gnarly, you know, when the guy does it. And and it becomes a pretty good joke at the end. You know, he asks for the warlord child or whatever, whatnot, to be his second and cut his head off, right, at the end of the battle. I thought it was a great scene. What did you think, Kim, of that opening flashback scene? What do you think about how Shogun has used flashbacks in the series?
I like it because it was funny because when I first saw that scene, I was confused by it because I was like, wait, what's going on? Because I thought that it took me a little while to realize that was Tarango when he was like a kid, and that it was like that it had taken back like about like 40 some years ago, whatever. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. But it was just like, it was, I mean, he manned up. He manned up as a child and he did what he had to do. Well, I mean, he wasn't even really a child anymore after that. And like, I mean, and then, am I saying it right? No, Mizuguchi? Nobutatsu. I can't say it right. Nobutatsu.
Who? Which character?
Wait, the one that was killed. The one that did.
Oh, the one that had the seppuku. He's
Mizuguchi.
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 Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I had to name.
Good try, though. Good try. That's better than Shaquille O'Neal.
She could be like Mizuguchi.
Well, what I really liked was whenever he like told him, he was just basically like, "I want you to be my second," you know. So I thought that was like really powerful.
I like him when women tell me that. You know what I'm saying? You know, when we get together.
Do you like the sloppy seconds, Jeff? That's
yeah, I like. Yeah, I'm very fond of hearing that. Actually.
There you go. But no, I thought that was like really interesting. But yeah, like I said, it really caught me off guard. But I do like that they went and flashed that back, and then it just kind of leads into like everything else, and you can kind of get an idea of where it's going to go. But I like that. I do like that how they go back and visit things. But yeah, it was very interesting.
I'm just a pop culture guy, sir. What did you think of that whole thing? It was really well shot, right? We finally got to see that scene from the trailer where the guy cuts the head off and all that shit and whatnot. It was pretty gnarly.
Yeah. Well, first though, I don't know if you guys had this, but when I was watching the episode, I thought we were jumping to time, and like we were like jumping to the war that was going to happen.
Oh, you thought it was in the future?
Oh, yeah, me too, though. Me too. For a minute there, I thought the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys had that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because how it was all like foggy, and I was like, oh wow, we're already in the war, and then slowly, we got to the kid. I was like, oh, okay, this is the first battle that Tanaka did, and I was like, oh, this is impressive. Wait, that part maybe really got hooked to this episode because, after last week's episode, I was like, oh, okay, well, what we're going to have for this episode. And it was kind of cool to get this, backstory which is important throughout the episode, because we do flash back to that moment, like a couple of times in this episode, episode 7, the stick of time. So I really dug that because I really like that it subverted my expectation. So yeah, it was really cool, and seeing the guy with the head was really neat. I mean, again, the production level and the music. Oh, thank you. That's my mom. Nowadays, this Kiki and this week, unfortunately. Anyway, I felt like everything was just top notch for this opening. So I think that should be good. So yeah. So but yeah. So that's it. What else happened in the flashback? Well, first up, the guy getting like what do you call it? The sumiku. That's something we always see in like Japanese or in general samurai films, and that one was, I think, by far the most like gory. I see it, like you can see the tetanus coming out. I was like, whoa! I was like, that was really cool to do that because a lot of times we don't like see it fully in certain films or TV. So this one was really cool, Sakio, and which we get later with another character, but didn't do it fully. But yeah, overall, I thought the opening was awesome. A great way to hook us for this episode, and it made it very clear that this is going to be a more Tanaka centric episode.
Well, that's how I would have seppuku myself if I would have lost to the panel to you last week. I was going to myself.
No. See, all you could do is actually, I will send a Dialect or a Cyberman into your house, and then you will be exterminated. That's how I do it.
Well, either way, Imran, your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, that seppuku is graphic, man. Sometimes I can't handle that, and I was kind of like,
Did you slow down for a minute and like think to yourself when you saw how long that fucking blade was? Like, yeah, just imagine yourself in his shoes.
Yes, you think about like this is. Could I do this to myself? No way. The lines, like you said, I also have a whole section of best lines in this episode. There's so much great writing. The fate thing is great. The unwinnable war, and you think about Toranaga's position where he is right now, mimicking that, and also this whole thing about like our history. These stories are told by the victors, the winners of these stories. So you can't always buy these stories as 100%. Like that's what happened, as we found out later, is also very interesting.
All right, sir. Most definitely. Going to you, Cyberneticshark. Cyber. You, sir. Your turn.
Yes, I know. My fucking window changed.
Oh, man. Those goddamn windows.
Fuckering windows. Anyways. So that beginning sequence, which is a great flashback to that, to Toranaga's first battle as a child. Now, let's take that into account. He's like literally like 12, 13 years old when this is going on. So hands down, this show really iterates how crazy the Japanese thought process was throughout the centuries that they've, been around. And just kind of the whole idea, like throughout all the episodes leading up to this episode, from the seppukus to, just all these different rituals that they follow, that you're just like, look at them going, what the hell is wrong with you? And basically you're like, why are you following these ideological ideas? Hence why Blackthorn, if you watch it, as you see him going, like every time Miraku says something, he's like, you do realize that you have a choice, right? It's kind of like what Blackthorn's trying to tell her, is that she needs to think for herself versus following these traditions. But anyways, getting back to the awesome scene. Seeing Toranaga, having his first epic battle and winning was really cool. And, finally getting to see that battle too was really fun because the visuals were so well done in that sequence. Even though it was very short, the actual battle itself, it was done really well. And, seeing the guy get his head cut off after he stabs his own self in his abdomen, you're kind of like, if you're already going to be beheaded, why the hell do you cut yourself? Why do you stab yourself too at the same time? I'll never get that either, because you're already slicing open yourself and then you're taking your head off. Like, what? So anyways, I think it's absolutely just ridiculous how they kill themselves. But anyways, I still think that was really visually done well because that looked really realistic, him getting his head cut off. It was really done. The great whoever did the special effects for the show, they know their stuff. I don't know if Tom Savani was in there, but they did a great job. But I thought this was really great, beginning to this episode, giving you kind of a little bit more history about Toranaga himself.
Most definitely. Ceren, you get to round out. You get to be in the worst spot possibly on the panel. You get to be the last one to contribute on the question that 15 people have already talked about. What do you think? What are your thoughts on the opening flashback scene?
One, I have to like agree because the scenery looked so good, like the cinematography looked so good, and also like Cyber said, it's like kind of like unnecessarily to a point. But then I like thought about it because he did it, but then the head was like kind of like, I guess, in this, they had to do it in order to like have as a victory symbol, you know what I mean? Like
a trophy or something.
Yeah, as a trophy, because we see that, I think it's the same head.
Also the seppuku itself doesn't kill you, so you have to have another blow to.
Yeah, and so one, it was very gnarly, but I really liked it. I watched it because I love gory nitty stuff. So I watched it. I was like, okay, interesting. And also at first I didn't realize it was a flashback because I like skipped the intro, and then I was like watching. I was like, okay, this is a very interesting way to start the episode. And then I realized, okay, it's a flashback when I watched it for the second time. I didn't know it the first time.
So what the hell did you think happened?
No, I don't know. I was like, I was really like, I was like, very interesting how they like started it. At first, I thought maybe it was a flash forward, and then I realized it was a flashback. And then
they did a great job with that. I think a lot of people they got a lot of people with that. I thought they were doing that too. I figured with all the flashbacks they've done, why wouldn't they do a flash forward?
But it does say 46 years ago. There's like a full caption.
They've done a good job.
I missed that maybe.
They've done a good job of titling and whatnot, and everything with the time changes and whatnot and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think
have they though? Because everybody missed this one.
Not always. Really? Not always. I think that was year 1600 when that actually occurred. Yeah, that was year 1600. But basically, moving on from there, I just want to point out too that yes, as far as the actual cutting off of the heads deal, I believe it is ceremonial to some extent, but at the same time too, I think it is possible to seppuku yourself with the blade and kill yourself. It's possible, but you got to like really fuck yourself up and know what you're doing, right? Like women could probably do it easier, but with men, that seppukuing is not enough to kill yourself. To die.
You wouldn't die instantly. How much time are you lying?
You'd lay there in excruciating pain for like a long time.
That's horrible.
So getting
your stomach. Yeah, that's like being like shot or like stabbed or anything like that to the stomach. They say it's like the slowest, the most painful way to die.
Yeah, they've got to like wrap that up in some way. Cyber.
And also, you have to like put some like strength into like really like make the blade come out from the other side.
And you're fighting your brain, right? Your brain is telling you, no, we don't do this. You can't do this, and then you just do it. I don't even know.
Just to wrap it up, I thought it looked like he actually went in there at an angle and was actually purposely trying to like fuck up his organs and shit and whatnot on purpose. It looked like he was
like a stab in and then drag across and like a twist.
Something like that. Yeah, there's a form to it, whatnot. Yeah, there is. They've got these Japanese back then, the feudal Japanese, man, they had some crazy shit going down.
It is brutal.
But so after the flashback, right, we get the 10th scene where we see Toranaga meet with his half brother, right? Psyche, just like the lead singer of Bandmaid, Psyche Nobutatsu, right? Who he has like an estranged relationship with. To get together and just discuss terms of merging their two armies to invade Osaka as part of Crimson Sky, right? And now this guy, Psyche, is one like loud laughing, like joke talking motherfucker. Like you want to like him,
yeah.
Right? You want to like him and shit, whatnot, right? Like he's got charisma,
yeah,
and all this shit, whatnot from jump. He's dressed to the nines.
He's like Riz. Like
dude has sick outfits all throughout the whole chapter. He looks dope. Like with the way he's dressed, he looks fly. Like if you could be fly in Shogun, dude is fly.
Yeah.
All right, with his whole fucking like cap and shit, whatnot from Jump. They really did a good job with his costumes. We jump off from them, you know, from that scene, and I'll let you guys talk about their chit chat and whatnot. But to Toranaga bitching about the price that Mariko worked out with Jin to hire Kiku for a week for his half brother, right, for her services, and then having to also give a stick of time to Jin, you know, or whatever, whatnot, as a part. Now you gotta remember from chapter 6, Jin don't fuck around when it comes to negotiating. Like, you know what I'm saying? She don't play, right? So I thought that was a very interesting scene, you know, like honestly, I did. Cool to see Jin coming back. We see a scene where Jin gives info to Omi, right? Some dirt to Omi about the engine's experience at the tea house with what's her name?
Kiku.
Kiku. You know, basically telling him that Blackfoot was more interested in another woman than Kiku, right? So basically stoking shit and being like an information broker like she is with it from her role. You know, and we find out Ashidu. I don't want to go too far actually with that. Let me stop there. And we'll do our first question off of that. We went pretty far into the episode right there. So we're going to stop at the point where Jin gives Omi that dirt when Omi goes to try to see Kiku, right? Because Kiku's like his girl and shit and whatnot. And he's denied to see her and all that and whatnot because obviously her services have already been paid for. And I'll start off this time around. I'll go to you first, Ceren. What are your thoughts, Ceren, on that part of the chapter, the first introductory part there, like the first 10 minutes or so?
I have to remember. Hold on.
You're fine. Going up to the part where Gin gives the info to Omi about Blackthorn not liking Kiku, but favoring another woman. Going all the way up to that point.
Can you ask the others? Because I have to rethink.
Yeah, you're totally fine. No, you're good. I'll go to Cyber.
Okay.
All right, so this portion of the episode was great as well. I mean, getting to meet Toranaga's brother, which was absolutely hilarious, you know, until his true colors came out. But he freaking was cracking me up in that beginning intro when they're talking. And he rides up in his white fancy outfit and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, kind of like, as I'm watching him, like, that outfit just looks too pretty to be like a soldier. I mean, I just don't see. I don't think you've been in any fucking battle ever, sir. I'm sorry. You know, I'm like, you know, guarding that waterfall, whatever the fuck you were talking about. I was like, yeah, you were definitely water. Yeah, that's why your whites are so white. But anyways, but that was a great sequence there. You know, and him basically, you know, Toranaga telling him, "Oh, we'll talk about business later. Tonight we get drunk." Which was very, very interesting. I thought coming from Toranaga to say, "Oh, let's just go have fun." After, you know, he knows what he has to get into, especially with the fate he's facing. So them having kind of that entertainment time, going back to the city and everything, was really interesting. Especially once we find out what his brother's real intentions are. Finding out that he has already had a counteroffer from, of course, you know, Toranaga's enemy, Yabashigi.
That's where I was trying to not go.
Oh. Well, that's all part of that section.
No, it doesn't happen. When the Omi goes to go see Kiku, that doesn't happen then. The dinner at the tent, that's later.
Well, whatever. So this section is good. It's fun, entertaining. The dude wanting to go get the consort cracks me up every single time. Like, dude, she's a whore. Just get over it. She's a whore. Just deal with it. Like, that's what she does, you know? And that's pretty much it. Good section, I thought.
Okay. Kim, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts? Well, first of all, I think that Omi looks good, so I just want to say that. And then,
oh, you're feeling Omi with that haircut.
Well, just look at the face. Look at the face. Yes, I'm feeling Omi, but however, so I was just curious to how this whole thing was going to go with this whole dinner, this like banquet dinner thing that they were going to have, and
Well, before that though, what did you think of like? What did you think of before that of like of like Toranaga bitching because of the price that like Jin, the head of the head of like the tea house or whatnot that employs Kiku, right? Like negotiated like another good deal and whatnot, right? Like she's such like a hustler, right? And Toranaga was bitching about the price of having to order Kiku for like a week with her brother. What did you think of like meeting the brother-in-law with Toranaga?
Oh, yeah. So I mean, I thought it was. I mean, it was what it was. I mean, it's like it's Toranaga like he was upset and stuff. Everything didn't like the prices and everything, but it's kind of like, I mean, you've got to send people out. You got to send people out. If you need a team, you got to like pay for it and everything. So it's kind of like one of those things to me. But it was I kind of like the face off because it just gave me like some questions because I'm kind of like, what's the future going to hold? Like, what's going to happen? Like, what's because you kind of like feel the tension and everything between everyone, and all these like different things are going on, and like just it's like a lot of chaos. But then they're trying not to let it show on their faces and stuff that there's a lot of chaos going on. But it's interesting.
Okay, Ceren, are you want to come back in now?
Yeah, okay. I have to say, like, I was kind of skeptical because I was like, where's like his brother looked like too. How can I say it? It's like too clean,
His name is he's Psyche. His name is Psyche.
I know, but like he looked too clean. I mean, like from his appearance, like that white thing looked too clean for me. I was kind of like very skeptical about him because something about him was off, and also like every time he cracked jokes, I had to laugh. Like that actor laughing made me laugh. So and also like about the price, I was like, it is what it is. Like he was very what's the word I'm looking? He was very kind of like.
You're just being biased because you're a woman. You're a woman, and it's about a woman getting paid for her services and whatnot and everything. So you're biased. No,
I'm not biased. I just mean like it's her job and like pay the price and be happy. To me, he felt like a bit like ungrateful.
I mean, no, Kiku is worth the price. I mean, she's down to do threesomes and shit and whatnot and everything, right? Like, she don't even care. She's down for whatever. So she's definitely worth whatever price, right? No, I mean, Omi's definitely like feeling it. But no, what else did you have to say to that about that opening sequence and whatnot and everything? Did you have to say anything about Omi getting that dirt on Blackthorn from Jin? Because that's what sets up Jin. That's what sets up Omi then setting up Buntero, right, to become more suspicious of Blackthorn. You know what I'm saying? Is Jin giving Omi that information? But if that's all you have, that's fine. I'll go over to.
Yeah, that's it.
That's fine. I'll go over to you, Imran.
Yeah, I enjoyed meeting a whole new character this late in the game. It's kind of crazy that they just give us a whole new character. And like Kimberly said, like at first it's very tense, and you already see Seiki diffusing Toranaga, making jokes. He's like, "Oh, you got to come to your mediocre half brother." He's kind of softening him up there. Should have been suspicious of him at that point, but I wasn't. I was like, "Oh, this is great. This may actually work out." And then, I also questioned why Jin would tell Omi that information. is either A, she's trying to make him feel better about his relationship with Kiku, but also she has to know he's going to run to Buntaro and tell him and get Buntaro mad because she knows everything. Like that, in her position, she's going to know all the dirt all over the place. As we'll see later in a great scene, she knows more than people think. So
that's right.
As far as the price, you're right. You get what you pay for, right? You don't want to cheap out, especially on that. So the price is good, and it's smart for Jin because she can bargain a moment of his time and a meeting with him. So everything is chess. Everybody's playing chess.
And plus, Kiku is tested. She's clean. She's STD free. They use like some kind of like rock STD test. Made out of bone or something or whatnot.
If you pee on this orchid and it doesn't turn brown,
yeah,
we're good. I don't know how they did that back then.
In the book, she has like all these crazy sex toys and shit and whatnot.
Oh, I heard about that. Yes, they're more elaborate, and it's not as like this was a lot more thoughtful than.
I know that. But me and Kim talked about the sex toys before in the past on the show. We figured they probably were like made out of sticks and shit and whatnot. Like rope.
It's true. They were back then. It's like in rock.
that would be like painful.
You got to polish that shit. You just got to polish it real nice, right? Just get it shiny. I don't know.
I'm sure they had it figured out back.
They're going to kill me. I told them to send me a video holding an object and start nodding.
Anything is a dildo when you really put your mind to it. There's no such thing as too large or too sharp. Every time you stop to question yourself, I want you to tell yourself, I can and I will.
There you go, folks. Was that not the best timing on that, or what? That was perfect.
Pretty good jump cut.
Andres, was that good timing or what? Look, I got Kim and I got Ceren to fall out. Both of them at the same time.
I knew Andres was gonna react that way. Andres is like, no.
Oh my god, the Fiji bottle.
I know. She's like,
I know. I would really love to see her do that. I know.
I'm sure you would.
I'd love to see her seppuku with that. Hey, what's up, Rathacon? Sorry about that, brother. You came in at an interesting time of the show.
I always come in at an interesting time. What was it? The last time I came back on the show, we were talking about how Blackthorn and what's the other guy? Kiku were pillowing for the first time. And now this.
He comes in and you go to the dildo clip. It's kind of poetic.
Who knows what's going to happen next time?
So, anyways, Andres the top portrait guy. Let your thoughts, sir, on that opening sequence and whatnot and everything after the flashback. Then I'll go over to you, Mr. Rathacon, and I'll tell you what the question is.
Yeah. Okay. So it was great. First I was surprised that Toranaga had a brother. I could say stepbrother. I was a little fuzzy on that, and I had to double check that. And so that was really cool. I really like this new character. He's really fun. He's very different from Tanaga, who is like more serious and stern. Where this guy is just full of life and fun, which is great. I also like how visually we can tell the difference between the brothers with the armors they were, when they're with their armies. Obviously he has silver kind of army, with the silver arm, which is kind of cool. And then, Tanaga, is more of the gold, which is really cool. And we see that throughout the episode when he wears that kind of gold, the kind of armor he wears. But yeah. I didn't really mind the whole talking about the escort kind of payments. I mean, it's kind of typical, just showing how.
Sir, she's a geisha. She's a courtesan. She's not an escort. Sir.
Okay, whatever. Same thing. Whatever. Japan has their ways of, they review differently how to pay people than
she's
us.
Basically a massage parlor worker.
Yeah, sort of like but no, you're out of the track, sir. Please. But yeah, I don't think that scene was that important because the other scene when we get to the important scene, I feel like that was just more important. But yeah, but when Oye goes, to meet the other girl, and she's been booked for the whole week to see, Tanaga's brother. It is a very important scene because you don't know if that nephew will use that as an advantage to like maybe go to the other side and like maybe get that as like I don't know, like some leverage to maybe take down Tanaga or anyone in his side. So I think that was a really important scene. See, and then that's the stopping point, Jeff.
That is.
Yeah. So overall, this section is very light, but at the same time, it kind of just it's getting you to the mood of the episode. But the part with Ore, you can understand because like I actually like Ore in that the girl he always hooked up with. They had really great chemistry, and I actually liked the relationship. So it was kind of annoying he cannot see her because of the brother. But we'll see later. I think her true side is actually with him, but we'll get to that towards the end.
Andres, great job, sir. You actually you were the best so far on that question. So I guess I'll give you 500 points or whatever the fuck, however Cyber does it. Because you were the best so far on that one by mentioning how important the Obi thing was, right? And then also not like killing your 500 points by talking for another 5 minutes about some stupid shit having to do with fucking who knows what, right?
Yeah, Santa Claus or Joker.
Yeah, there you go. So Joker or whatever. So Wrath of Khan, sir, welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks for having me on this late in the show.
Well, it's not that late, sir. The night is young.
Perfect.
I'm gonna go to you first, right? And on the next round of questions. But basically, where we're at in the episode is we're coming off of Jin giving Omi that inside dirt on Blackfoot, right? Like sort of like favoring Mariko at the brothel over Kiku, right? And Omi getting that information and whatnot, and everything. So essentially from there, before we get up, we get up to the big dinner, or I think that the big dinner may actually happen right off that. We see basically no, that's it. We go right into the big dinner scene. It's not in the tent. I'm sorry. It's in one of those houses with all the white walls and all that shit and whatnot. But we get the big dinner scene, and basically, at first they're all drinking sake, and Psyche is telling stories and shit and whatnot and everything, right? And everything seems kosher, right? Hiramatsu's there, right? Fuji's grandpa, Toranaga's second, his second in command is there and whatnot, everything. Bantero's there, right? Bantero, of course, also told Mariko to tell the engine to keep his mouth shut when they met Psyche earlier. But they're all there, and then as we start to see the half brother talk, he starts to like talk shit about Toranaga, like talk shit about about him, about like his past and shit, whatnot, everything, right? And like it becomes very, very clear, very, very quickly that this isn't going to be an ally here, right? Like this is going to be a problem. And at that point, we find out all of a sudden. I thought they were under attack because all of a sudden they just jump scene over to like all these soldiers rushing the checkpoints and whatnot, and everything, right? Taking them over and shit and whatnot. And Psyche declares that he's now the new regent, right? And that they're demanding that Toranaga face the council, right, for discipline for his behavior and all this shit and whatnot. And they want Nagagatu, Toranaga's son. They want him to just go ahead and seppuku himself, right now. Luckily, Toranaga tells his ass to not grab the fucking the paper, or he would have had to do it. But basically, right there, Psyche puts it to Toranaga that he's got to go ahead and face the council. Toranaga says, "Give me 1 day, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do in this situation, or whatnot, if I'll obey or not." Right, and that's when the real tension kicks in. And things really get thick. We go right to Mariko and Blackthorn, and Blackthorn automatically going back to the ship again. He's already pissed off earlier in the show. With Toranaga, we saw him bitching again, as always, bitching about his place and whatnot, everything, and how he has all these titles, but yet he doesn't. Who is he though? because he wants to be, you know, in Crimson Sky, he wanted to be like the one on his ship, using his cannon and shit, and whatnot, be the naval commander or whatever. Well, basically, he's saying to Rico, like rambling, like, you know, because they're all like, you know, what the fuck's gonna happen here? We're gonna die. You know, he's basically saying we can set up the ship, we can take off. And Rico's like, and go and do what? Go where? Engine, son, right? Because she ain't going nowhere. That's what I took, right? Is like, you know, her loyalty is to Toranaga, right? Not to the engine, regardless of like how long his cannon is, or how good he was. They haven't even pillowed since that one time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no wonder Blackthorn is so pissed off all the time and bitchy and everything and whatnot. Nope, not pillowing enough. Just like the doctor said in the beginning, right? If Blackthorn would just pillow, he wouldn't be such a fucking salty bitch all the time, complaining and shit about everything. Fucking Blackfoot, I'm telling you. You know, then you see, you know, basically, Nagato, the Tornaga's son, with Buntero and with Yagoshibi talking about what they should do, right? As Tornaga's contemplating into what to do with, like, you know, this whole predicament. And I believe it's in that conversation that Nagado actually says something along the lines of, I've heard that killing your first man is better than a better experience than your first pillowing or whatever, which I do not agree with at all. I don't see how that's possible. And Yamashiki says it depends on the woman.
That's a great line. That's a great line. It's so
funny.
Funny.
Yeah, that's what Yamashiki says.
Yeah.
So basically, Ashido made a deal with Psyche, right, and everything and whatnot, and replaced him as the 5th regent, and whatnot. You know, that's what ended up happening. And you know, basically, you know, we see Fuji at the house. The guards come to, like, you know, basically, you know, secure the house, not let them be able to leave and whatnot and everything. Psyche goes to see Yamashiki and brings him the head of the courier he sent to Ashido to try to do some shady shit and whatnot and play both sides. Brings him the head of the courier, right? So Yamashiki's fucked now. Now he knows that he basically is stuck with Toranaga forever, right? And from there, you know, we do get the scene where you have Nagato and Hamatsu, and Buntero discussing what to do. Then we get the Toranaga Jin scene, which I think is a pivotal scene. Basically, everything just got the audio just cleaned up immensely all of a sudden. Basically, we get the Toranaga Jin scene, which I'm going to let you guys talk about. I'm not going to go over it. But Jin basically explaining to Toranaga that even if he does die or get defeated, she'd like him to allow her to establish a guild, essentially, right? And set up other tea houses like hers in Ajiru or whatever, whatnot, right? You know, to try to clean up the trade of the brothels and all that shit and whatnot, so that old whores like her, basically, as she says, can, like, have dignity, right, later on in life and whatnot and all that and everything. And she kind of calls him out on everything and whatnot, on his whole, like, you know, woe is me deal with his army getting blown, you know, blasted away and whatnot, and him being, like, you know, being held captive, right, till the next day and whatnot by his brother-in-law and all this shit. She's like, you have spies, right? You would have known about what was going on with his army, right? Like, you know, you are, you know, and that's when she uses the word fate. Toranaga says to her, my fate isn't going to be long enough to be able to, like, you know, help you out with your plans, right? And I'll leave it there and go to our first questions off that, and I'll go to you, Rathacon. What were your thoughts on that whole section, especially the Toranaga Jin scene?
That is like 3/4 of the episode.
I know, it's a lot.
This is very different because normally you would, like, break it down either like quarter by quarter or like a fifth by a fifth. This time it's
hey, you're getting the whole canon this time, baby.
Well, I'll be generous here.
You're like that chick at the end of the skit with the water bottle. You're in that position.
Wait, what's that?
Oh, don't worry about it, sir.
Okay, so I'll be generous here. I'll only talk about the dinner, so everyone else can take all the other parts.
Oh, you're such a gentleman.
I'm always a gentleman. Okay, so let's talk about the dinner. So, firstly, what was with the seating arrangement? Like, you have on one side Buntaro and Omi, and on the other side you had Maiko and Blackthorn. Like, shouldn't Buntaro and Maiko be together? Maybe include Blackthorn as well, all in one side, not like separate them. Like,
that wouldn't create the tension then.
Well, I think that Toranaga is bad with seating arrangements. Just right there, just that in of itself. If Toranaga wants peace in his army, he should let them sit together. I'll just say that. That's the first thing I noticed. Secondly, I noticed that Umi told Buntaro how Maiko shows such grace in serving Blackthorn. And you can tell that also fueled the tensions between Buntaro and Maiko. And when Saiki was saying in that whole dinner how, you know, with his experience with Lady Kiku, how, you know, she's beautiful, but beauty is a fleeting pleasure. Like trying to grasp a river or bang a sunset.
Or fuck a sunrise.
That's the best line.
Whoa, Jeff, don't curse on the live, man. Don't curse on the live. You might get demonetized from that.
What? Sir, I curse on the... Are you kidding me? You know the kind of things I've said in this show?
I know, but tone it down so that way we can preserve your monetization.
The word "fuck" is a hashtag. It's a hashtag term on the MCU's Bleeding Edge.
Wait, what?
No, it's not. But I'm just saying, sir.
Okay.
You haven't figured it out yet that we're pretty R-rated over here. We're good, man. Dude's smoking a cigarette.
I know you're R. Okay. Imran, do you have something to say before I continue?
No, I'm just gonna say that's the best line of the whole episode. That's my favorite.
It is.
It is
amazing writing.
I will say that when I first heard that line, my first thought, was if Jeff was poetic like Shakespeare, he would say that exactly. But let's put that to the side. Okay, so I will say though, Saiki was pretty poetic when he said that, because I find that because this type of attitude is actually normal in Japan, like you would even find other characters saying that stuff. It showcases that because of these attitudes, a lot of these courtesans, they try to go beyond the superficial. They're not like the European courtesans where they only focus on the superficial. That's why in the previous episodes, we saw Lady Kiku focus on things like the way she talks to people, the way she carries herself, the way she pours her tea in a special way, or even talks about like the randomest stuff, like the absence, the value of absence. Like that's how courtesans go beyond this whole like curse of beauty being a fleeting pleasure. It's what gives them longevity in their value. And saying fuck a sunset, that's just crude. Like, I don't know what he was thinking when he said that. Like, it's like you're saying you're trying to possess something or control something as vast and ever changing as beauty. I mean, crude, but that was just awesome.
I just imagine him at the horizon line as the sun is setting, just thrusting.
I'm still trying to figure out why Jasper actually told me to watch out for saying fuck on the MCU's Bleeding Edge channel and podcast.
You gave me permission ever since that talk, so I will say it.
Well,
he said it. He did say it.
Okay, final thing before I move on to someone else. When Saiki was saying, I already received another final offer, how did his army just suddenly just know to just come in and then just surround Toranaga's forces? Like, they didn't have comlinks, they didn't have any other advanced communication technology. It's just that one thing.
Yeah.
How
did they know?
Yeah, how did they know? I try to look it up, what this communication tech during the ancient times were. I cannot think of anything.
Someone would have to signal them or something.
But like that quick?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, panelists, can you guys come up with ideas?
Not that answer, Ken. Well, actually, in certain movies and TV, I always see they always shoot like fire arrows sometimes to send the signal for the army. That's usually the case. And then also, I mean, folks,
or like smoke.
Yeah, smoke. You know, that's.
But that takes time.
Oh yeah, but yeah, like a fire arrow shooting up.
And it'll be obvious too.
Yeah, I mean, that's where like the army knows that okay, this our time to move in. You know, or you know, or flying
or maybe
creatures.
like it. Yeah, that's what I want to say. Like
all right, Rathacon, wrap up your contribution so I can go over to Kim.
Okay, my last final contribution is I was surprised Bunturo was the first one to get mad by this ambush, not the son.
He drank too much sake or whatever with that. That was his problem.
I think just like trying to channel that frustration, you know, seeing Blackthorn with Maiko.
Yeah, Bunturo was already hyped. What do you think, Kim? I know I gave you a lot of episode to work with there, but you pick what you want to talk about from that.
Well, I actually want to talk about the dinner, but as soon as I knew I had to skip over that because I was just like, oh well, fuck. Okay, that's already covered.
Hey, apparently we're not allowed to say the word "fuck" anymore on the Bleeding Edge, so you better be careful over there.
I forgot. Yeah, that's right. Well, so all right, so I am. Can I go to where Seiki's over when after they go to the little bath upon? Well, no, let me go back a little more. Okay, so let's go to whenever Toranaga's talking to what's her name, and she's feeling like she gave up all of her sticks. She's got no sticks left, and she's kind of like, look, I'm nothing but a. If she, you can tell she feels disrespected, and she kind of feels like she's just kind of like.
You're talking about Jin.
Yeah. Oh, Jin. Why am I forgetting that? Sorry, it's a long night. But so she's upset because she's like, okay, this is going on, and clearly it's like he just treated her like she was like old and done, and just kind of like running, just kind of like done enough with running. Just okay. Oh my god, sorry, I'm trying to talk.
You're fine.
Okay, like she's pretty much kind of like done because it's like she wants to open up like more of her little places elsewhere and stuff and everything, just kind of like do things with her business, and then you can see all that tension going on, and she's like really upset.
Well, what she wants to do is actually historically like accurate, whatnot. She wants to like basically establish the first real like geisha shops where like you have the geishas and stuff like that and whatnot. Like that's what she's trying to do. So if you
mean
go ahead, Ceren.
You mean geisha?
Yeah, the geisha shops. That's what she's leading. What she's wanting to propose would lead to that. Just to be clear, Kim.
Oh, okay. So okay. That
she's a smart businesswoman, so she actually what she's proposing is actually good. It's just that Toranaga doesn't feel like he has the time to deal with it right now. You know what I'm saying? Is what
you could see she was really hurt and upset. So it's like that's why I was just really kind of figuring that out. I was just trying to dig a little bit deeper, and then of course that made me think.
Because she knows that Toranaga's full of shit. She doesn't believe that any of this shit. She doesn't believe that like Toranaga isn't this is all part of his plan. She knows that she believes she thinks that this whole thing he wanted this all to happen, the dinner, all that shit, whatnot. That it was all planned.
God, that makes sense. That makes sense. And then I think the part I really that was really intriguing was whenever Seiki, whenever he shows up, after they had he shows up in his little white silver. Is that robe? Is it silver or white? I don't know what color it is.
I think it's white.
Is it white? It might be white. Yeah.
I think it's silver.
Wow.
Or like chrome. Maybe chrome.
Yeah, I know. So I'm like, I keep looking at it, trying to figure out what color it is. But it's whenever he runs into Toranaga's sons, and he's just kind of like, and he overheard them talking, and they didn't know he was around.
Oh, at the hot spring? Yeah.
Yeah, And there was like, it was really eerie. It was like really eerie, and it's like I felt like it was a lot of foreshadowing that was coming in. And it just seemed like he just had this air about him. And it was really creepy. It was really, that was like one of the things that stood out. That scene stood out to me a lot for whatever reason. I guess it was eerie and it was creepy.
I get what you're saying. I do. He does have that kind of like vibe to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a snake oil salesman kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Like, a hustler.
Yeah.
Kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like, like an instigator.
Right, yeah, that's exactly what it seemed like. And it seemed like he just came off also as like, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be around, and I don't know if you will or you're not going to be. But it was very interesting. It just like felt like this darkness, like this heaviness over it.
All right. Cyberneticshark, sir. Your thoughts on that big chunk of episode?
Okie dokie, artichoke. All right. So this portion of the episode is just like with all the episode. I really enjoyed it. I think it's really fantastically done. I think that the whole council, the whole dinner sequence was really done well. Finding out the brother's true intentions, him finding out that he had another offer, which to me, I felt Toranaga already felt that this was going to happen, and that's why he had him come, because he knew that he was going to be a part of his plan, that, for what he was going to do to try to save himself from, what he's been trying to save himself from the whole series. So I think he already knew that. And that sequence with Jin really kind of points in that direction that, yes, Toranaga really does have a whole plan going on, and he's keeping as few people in the circle as possible so that he can keep people basically guessing from beginning to end, because he wants to be able to have most anonymity for everyone so that he doesn't take anybody else down with him. And so I feel that's what that sequence with Jin really kind of helps, show, is that Jin already was catching on to what Toranaga was doing by giving him that whole speech, about her, and she's the greatest courtesan, and she built herself up from the trash, and blah, 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 and stuff like that. So that scene was very pivotal because it really helped to show you and push you in the direction like, hey, Toranaga knows what he's doing, and so everything is a very intricate plan that he's doing. Now, that scene where he goes and contemplates on the ridge and everything, I thought was very... just a very simple scene, but at the same time, you can just see him kind of pondering. And I thought that Hiroyuki Sanada did a great job of giving a really great idea of, what a person that's contemplating what he has to do would be doing. And I think that he did a really good job. I just wanted to point out his acting in that was really superb. Even the son through this, I thought was really amazing too as well. Toranaga's son, I think that he did a really good job.
We don't give that actor enough credit.
And so, like I said, I think that the actor that plays the brother, I think he's hilarious. And so I think he even says a few lines in that dinner scene that were kind of funny too as well, finally kind of giving off what he's really there for. And I thought that guy did a really good job too as well. Like everyone said, Kim coming so late into the game, introducing a new character, you got to be very powerful to catch up with everyone else. And I think that actor did that. So, I mean, the whole Blackthorn thing, I think is hilarious. Once again, like I said before, Blackthorn's bitching, is what any normal human man would do in a situation that would be in that type of situation, wanting what's theirs. And so I don't find what he's doing bitching at all. I find it him trying to get his shit and get out. And so as we see in the evolution of him, as we get further into the episode, I won't go too far. We see a little bit more of that further in the episode. But I think Blackthorn, that sequence when he's, having Mariko communicate what he's saying, I think really works out really well. And, really help, accentuate kind of, Toranaga is not encouraging anything he's doing because, Blackthorn's a part of his plan. He's expecting him to do something to really help push the plan to an extent. And you can see that in that scene too as well. It's kind of an indicator into that Blackthorn's a big part of Toranaga's plan, hence why he's still there, why he's become a Hamamoto and all that kind of stuff. So that scene I thought was really a pivotal too in this sequence to really show where the series is going. I'm sorry, where are we going to, sir?
You basically up until where did I start off at, guys? Where did I end at?
I think the Jin and Toranaga.
Yeah, the end of the Jin Toranaga meeting.
Okay. So yeah, so this whole section really great. A lot of great information, a lot of tall tales to push the series forward, and I think really well done with all the actors. They all did a phenomenal job in the sequence. Really fun sequence.
Cyber, great job, sir. You're now leading on the panel on this question. Fate is like a sword, is what Jin said.
Yeah.
Another one, good one, Imran, right? Fate is like a sword.
And
right?
she says it's only useful to those who wield it. That's a great line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my God.
There you go. Excellent writing. On this one, for this chapter, we had Takeshi Fukunaga directing, and they brought back Matt Lambert from Chapter 5 to write this episode.
Oh.
Right? So Matt Lambert's back writing. Basically, I just wanted to also point out, Cyber, that of course I jest about Blackthorn's bitching, but of course he has merit for the when he comes to try to talk to, he's frustrated when he talks to Toranaga, right? Yeah, that he also tells Toranaga in the beginning, I'm with you to the end, essentially, right? Like, I'm with you to the end, right? No matter what. He, and he meant it. You know what I'm saying? That's why he's so pissed off at the end. Yeah. That just to correlate it, whatnot, and jump ahead a little bit because he did a great job on that. But I'll go to you next, Ceren. What are your thoughts on that chunk of the episode?
They already said everything.
Oh, whatever you have to give, my friend.
Okay, I heard in the official Shogun podcast that the geisha thing, like the geisha, they wanted to do the geisha houses were they wanted to do it very accurately, and also that what's his name, Toranaga and Jin is her name, right? Jin.
Yeah.
The lady, Jin. He said he was a guest on that episode, and he said that they had worked together before, and so he said it was very easy, and that the communication was very easy, and also I really honestly I just enjoyed that whole chunk of the episode, and yes, like Blackthorn.
I like Jin's character.
Yeah, me too. She's an amazing addition to that, and also how what's the word I'm looking for? Not consistent.
Whenever I get stuck like that, I just say pillow.
No, I'm like I have the German word in my head, but I mean the English word. It's like when you're very not. Let me describe it. It's like when a person is very, very keen on something and doesn't really get back from their way easily. What's the word?
Stubborn?
Yeah, not stubborn.
Arrogant?
No. Gosh, what's the name of the word?
Pillow.
No, not pillow. Hold on.
Fuji.
It's like when you're very
dude, Fuji, really?
It's like you want something and somebody else says no, but you're doing it anyway.
Persistent? Insistent? Something like that.
She's intuitive.
Pushy.
Yeah, but she was
Jesus Christ.
I don't know what she's trying to say.
We get it. We understand.
Yeah, like that one. Like she was like, okay, I'm going to do this, and this is
single-minded, kind of single-minded. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you want this, and then you do it anyway because it doesn't really care. You don't really care about what person B is saying. You know what I mean? So that's what I liked about her. She's like she has like this
She's very ambitious, and she's very ambitious and very passionate and knowledgeable.
Yeah, exactly. That's the word I was looking for.
Well, she knows all the secrets because she runs the brothel. You know what I'm saying? So she knows all the dirt on everybody, right?
Exactly. And now I'm so curious where she will be like go in the next episodes. Like where
I would pillow with her as long as they gave me a discount on her though.
Jeff, do you want to pillow every character in that show or something?
The female ones, not the male ones. I don't want to pillow Obi like him.
I mean like Mariko is like very good to look at, so I would pillow her.
She's pretty.
Yeah, she is. I know her.
But not
from,
Fuji.
Like,
what's wrong with Fuji? Is Fuji
Legacy.
Is Fuji too skinny for you? Is she not thick enough for you?
No. No, I mean, but I prefer Mariko because I watched her in this other series called Monarch Legacy of Monsters. She was on there, and I was like, okay, I really like Mariko.
Wait, the Godzilla film?
The series on Apple TV. We almost covered that at one point. We came close to covering it on Monday nights. All right, so let me move over and slide over to Andre's Pop Culture Guy, and then we'll let Imran round this one out, since Imran's actually really good at being at the end of the panel.
Yeah, that's true. So anyway, oh my god, yeah. So the dinner part, I do agree with Jasmine here. It is kind of weird that why Tanaga thinks there's a cool idea. Oh, it'll be kind of cool. It's like put Blackbeard, Mariko, and his husband separate. I'm like, you're creating more attention, which I do agree, Jeff, because it's fun. I do enjoy because I love the Blackbeard and Mariko relationship because that's the relationship I care about. And how is this dude is not dead? How is this husband not dead yet?
Wait, do you want him dead or something?
Yes, I do want him dead because I don't
Why?
like him. He's a jerk. He's
he's a great warrior. Okay,
he's actually not a bad guy. He loves Mariko.
He's a great warrior too. Don't forget that.
Yeah, I get that. But and speaking of affection, like he doesn't show affection to Mariko. That's the thing. It's like you guys telling me now.
That's not how it's like in ancient Japan. That's not how it's like.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they
don't hold hands and shit in feudal Japan, baby.
It's true. Well, look at Oro, the kid that likes the other lady and the consort. Like he showed more affection than this guy does. I don't know. It's just so bizarre. Anyway.
Well, to be fair, Kiku did offer something first, so he was obliged to give back.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think that's just he's like going down to my radar of like your
contribution on the panel on this round is going down, sir. It's going downhill.
Anyway, how about this? Fuck you, sir. Fuck you. Anyway, I need to cut that. This moment, I'm like, that is a good time to say the fuck you, sir. Jeff. Anyway, it was a perfect time. Anyway, so the dinner scene overall was really fun. I mean, it was very it was very joyful until we got that big reveal that he was offered for the fifth role, which I was surprised. So that was another great thing. I like how this episode was twisted, there's a twist and turn kind of episode, which I like. So yeah, you're right, Jasmine. I'm not gonna cry because of this character. I would be so like, woohoo, he's dead. Yeah, come on, guys. I'll invite you guys to Applebee's. No worry. I'll invite all of you in this battle to Applebee's. It's like, we're celebrating for the worst character in Shogun. Just saying. Anyway,
okay, but what if he sacrifices his life to save Toranaga? Are you gonna cry? Come on, you have to cry at least.
I'll shed like
just one tear. Just one tear.
I cry every time I put on my loincloth, my Yamachiki's loincloth with my extremely tiny penis. And like there's no I don't even have a bulge. It's like flat, like a vagina.
God. No.
I cry inside.
You're like a Ken doll over there.
Yeah, like it's all flat. You know? Like so like I cry inside.
Jeff, seriously, if you had Shakespeare type of poetry, you would be like Psyche right now.
That is so true. Yes, just answering Desmond's question. Yes, I'll just maybe give one tear, but just like a very laughing tear. It's like, he sacrificed himself. Anyway, who cares? We'll see. He will die armorly or not. But anyway, I thought there was very executed right. One thing I like about Shogun is the role of family. Like Jasmine brought up like how different Japan is, but we never really discussed how different family culture is and how their structure and all that like in terms of family structure, because it's very different from us. How we view family roles and all that, and it's very intriguing to see that with Toranaga, the brother, and then Toranaga's son. So I really dug this scene and seeing the betrayal, the fact that he accepted it. It's like, I mean, come on, like we've seen with all the characters, they will do whatever they can to benefit themselves, and so the brother did the thing that benefited himself, so it makes sense. So it's just sticking the long theme that we've been seeing with the show with the last 6 episodes. And then I don't want to spend too much, but but the Gene talking to Tanaka thing is really great sequence. I mean, because first of all, Tanaka is this powerful person. You don't think, because how women are always perceived. I like how she subverted as oh, you think I'm this very diminutive person or whatnot. Actually, she knows a lot of shit. What's going on? Like what's going on with Blackthorn, Blackbeard's Blackfoot, Marigold's relationship. She knows everything, and I really appreciate how she talks down to him that way, and just him coming out, from the 10, and then is like, oh, it's like, I want to fucking choke her, and then the
whoa.
We don't. Hey, listen. We're down with the lifestyle and whatnot and the BDSM stuff, but we don't get down with the choking, sir.
That's why I get the sense of Taranaga's behavior. It's like, just saying. Or maybe he just wants to throw an arrow at the sky, and it's like, what I'm doing.
You're talking ahead of farther ahead in the episode.
No, I'm talking about the Taranaga talking to the
old whore.
Oh, the old whore. Okay, good.
Yeah, so I didn't want to talk about the other things. But
Jeff,
yeah, so
great commentary on that.
Yeah, exactly. Then there's nothing much to say about the Blackbeard thing. It's just more of him just getting frustrated with the plan. As Cyber said before, he is supporting. It's like Taranaga is keeping the plans so close to the chest, which makes sense. He's just playing around with this chessboard. So anyway, fuck you, Jeff. I see the private chat. What are you saying, you motherfucking clown? I will hit you right now. In this
clown? Oh man.
Yes. Oh my god. This is Jasmine. Please help me here. And you say yes. Then you say yes.
Imran is the most patient man in the history of Earth.
I'm sorry. What's happening?
No, nothing. We're just. I'm just. You go, Iron. That's all I had to say. It was a great section. This is the part I liked about the episode. It was the intrigue and all the twists and turns of the brother, being the fifth in the council, all that. the Jin, the horror you're talking to Chanaga, it was really engaging, and I thought she was the best part of this episode. Like, she really was the MVP. For that one single scene, she like stole the show. But yeah, so that's all I have to say. And Jeff,
I agree with that. I agree with that last point. She did sort of steal the show with that scene. Imran, on top of the question, what's it like to come off of Andre's the pop culture guy on the panel?
What's the question? No, it's fine. It's great. I just like Toranaga's grr. That's all. It says so much. He's right, though.
Do you get derailed? Like you're already ready. You're ready to like do your answer and whatnot, everything, and then Andres talks and you get all fucked up.
No, it's fine. I go to my happy place for a little bit and just like do jump rope, and then I come back.
Wait, you didn't even go for jump rope.
No,
you just stood there.
In my head.
Mental jump rope.
Yes.
You sure that's what you do in your happy place? You sure there's no tea house there? There's no
there may be some.
Oh my god, leave him alone, Jasmine. Come on.
No, look, everybody said
our brothers.
I will. Yeah, we're cool. Like Jasmine, we're like that. We know. I'll just quickly say the dinner scene was amazing. It's like a highlight. I love the betrayal. It was a oh shit moment. Every good TV show should have one or a couple of moments where you literally sit up, you go, oh shit. And I did that there, but they telegraphed it pretty well. Great foreshadowing when he's telling stories. First, he tells him the honorable story of him killing the guy. And then I love where he asked Nagakato, what do you like? You like legends or you like the truth? Kind of being kind of an ass. And then he tells him the pants shitting story. And Toranaga's like, bro, you got to tell the pants shitting story, really? And that's when we should have known this guy is no good. But all of this, these moves and these Toranaga, like the earthquake, these disasters, his luck is bad. How many do we think Seiki maybe is in on this plan? The whole time I'm like, what is Toranaga's plan? And is it crumbling or is this actually the plan? And then quickly on the Jin scene, I love that just the idea of stick of time is just the amount of time incense burns. So that's how much time you have. Like that's very, very, it's just beautiful. And I love how Jin is like, come on, you didn't see this happening. I find that hard to believe. I find it hard to believe that you didn't know. And then she's like, what do I know? I'm just an old whore. That's another great line. And she kind of like bribes him. She's like, well, I won't say anything. You give me some land.
She walks out before she can give him time to kick her out.
She goes, oh, my time is up. I've got to go. So she's got full control of this conversation right at the moment.
Don't you love the power moments of some of these female characters, Imran? Kind of like a la House of Dragon, right? Like where you have like these women, like, they don't, not with swords, not with shields, and not in the battles do they fight.
Words.
But with words and whatnot, and they influence these male characters, right?
Yeah.
Like, like deeply. You know what I'm saying? Like, deeply. Like they're like the spines of them.
Well, in some cases, like they're really in charge, right? Who's running things? It's really the women who are just.
They're the best. Yeah, they are. And honestly, there were a lot of scenes in episode 7 and chapter 7 where I really wasn't sure what they were trying to tell us or trying to convey.
Well,
at times
overall, this
that was one scene where I did not totally understand what that was trying to convey to me in the audience.
The episode was a little confusing when you think of Toranaga's plans. Like you're like, what? Wait a minute, what's going on? Nobody knows. I don't even know if he knows, but he knows something. But nobody else seems to know.
I thought this episode, just chapter, had a lot of those moments where I was really sort of like wondering to myself, pondering, like, what are they really trying to tell us with this?
Yeah, where is it going?
Again, going back to with like Jin giving Omi the information, right?
Yeah, but I think everything is really purposeful. Like they don't write material that's not going to end up somewhere. So
it all ties into the story.
Everything's for a reason. Yeah,
most definitely. All right, Imran, great job. And I'll let you start off on the next question. So right off the bat, we get the best scene of the episode, the actual best scene, when we do see, after the Toranaga Jin scene, Yabashiki's loincloth shot, right?
Yeah.
Where I put in my outline, what's everybody's thoughts on that bulge? Bigger than Blackfoot's? Kim, I had your name, Kim, right next to it on my question. Kim, it says right in my outline, just to let you know. I was thinking to you, hon, at that moment, and that private moment and everything, which is either good or bad.
Oh wait, bulge.
So then Omi and it's never good when Omi and Nagato get together to talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know that's never going to be fucking good. They get
Yep,
together
that's
and
why I had
talk.
a bad feeling.
Yeah, and you know it's going to be bad, and that's when Omi. You see, Omi is obsessed with fucking like the engine now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now that Blackfoot like fucking put his fucking longsword in Kiku, he's all fucked up now over the engine. He's more pissed off than Bontero, right? Then we get Yabushigi with Blackthorn, and Yabushigi's just talking to Blackthorn like he's one of his buddies, not realizing, not forgetting that Blackthorn can't understand a single thing he's saying, and Blackthorn does one of his stupid Blackthorn faces to show that he doesn't understand. He's like with his whole like gape mouth and all that shit, whatnot, like he doesn't understand, like a retard. It was a Danny Award winning moment. So basically, then all of a sudden, Yabushigi decides that he's going to teach Blackfoot how to use his sword, right? Which leads to fucking Bontero putting a sword all up on fucking Blackfoot's fucking throat, about to kill his ass. Blackfoot like scrambled on his back to try to get backwards and whatnot. And finally, Blackfoot was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let it roll, right? It might as well be now. You know what I'm saying? Whatnot and everything, right? Take me out. And I thought that Cosmo Jarvis did a great job playing that. He did. I believed it. It seemed believable.
Yeah.
Like that he meant it, whatnot. Like he wasn't trying to be a pussy or whatever and be hard, right? He was like, fuck it, end it. So, of course, Yabushigi, I thought this is your typical Shogun dark humor. Yabushigi talks shit to Blackthorn and says, I saved your life. You're lucky I was here or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, whatnot. After he just kicked his ass and like beat his ass and shit with the sword fighting and shit, whatnot, right? Yabushigi's like, you're lucky I was here or you'd be dead. So we go off that, right? And Fuji's training with the spear thing or whatever, whatnot, looking fine as shit as usual in one of her 2-3 second scenes. And for some reason, Nagato is all over the place in this episode. So he was over there and they chat for a little bit, right? About like how they're going to make out. Like everyone's kind of nervous about if they're going to have victory or not or whatever. There's also a great scene where you see Fuji's grandfather, show up with the remains of her child and all that whatnot, and her husband and whatnot and everything. And as of course, Fuji tells him, I can't wait for my time with the engine to end so I can go ahead and seppuku myself. You know, because that's all she worries about. Fuji is just trying to seppuku 24/7, right? She ain't trying to pillow at all, just seppuku, which is very unfortunate. But so then we get Mariko and Toranaga doing his will. Bontero pops up. This is a great scene. Wants permission to take Blackfoot's head because Blackfoot has impure thoughts towards his wife. Mm-hmm. When Toranaga questions him and doesn't want nothing to do with it, and it's like, then you're basically accusing your wife of also wanting this, right? And that's when Bontero's head starts shaking and shit and whatnot and everything, right? And you can see his emotion. Because Toranaga's like, because if you're accusing her of this right now, that means her head's got to come off right now, right? And you see, I thought it was really well played by the actor that plays Bontero. You see him struggle, and his love for Mariko, that he doesn't want to hurt Mariko at all, right? Or he doesn't know what to think. You know what I'm saying? So again,
it was hurting him.
Yeah, he pussies out again, right? And just says, "Oh, I misspoke. I fucking, I'm a little bitch." Just like with Blackfoot with the Saki the other night, same kind of deal, right? But it was an interesting scene with a lot of emotion to it, whatnot, and everything, right? Added some intrigue to the episode. And at that point, Toranaga talks to Mariko one-on-one, and then we get something I thought was a little bit weird when Toranaga's like, it's either going to be me or the engine, right? Like, who are you going to choose? And all this shit and whatnot.
Yeah, that don't make no sense.
No, that was kind of weird. I'm like, what the fuck? Honestly, Blackthorn and Mariko are not giving off that they fucked that one time that well. And they're not having sex regularly, or they would be showing it to us.
Plus, he's the one that assigned her to him. He's been pushing her to him and separates Bontero out.
She even said after that one time they pillowed, that was it.
So I don't know why he made her choose, but that's again part of the plan. Toranaga always has a plan. I don't know.
I think Toranaga just wants to make Bunturo like get that warrior spirit back up.
Oh.
You know, after like leaving him a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
So, you know, that way when the big fight comes, he would have like more energy to just fight.
I mean, this man, they thought he was dead, and he survived and came back, and still can't like.
For all we know, he could be working for a Shido. We don't know. We still don't know.
That's a good point.
Right? But anyways, I'm going to stop there before we get into the final, you know, the final counseling thing, whatever, whatnot, and the ending. I'll stop there with another. We'll do two sets of ending questions, and I'll start off with you, Imran, so you can start this round off, and then I'll go from you to Ceren, and then I'll go from Ceren. I'll go to Andre's pop culture guy.
There's another interesting theme this episode that runs throughout the episode is that everybody just wants to die. They all just want to kill themselves. Mariko literally asks Toranaga every year, "What, can you kill me now? Can you kill me now?" And he's like, "No." Well, how about now? No. Everybody, and Fuji's like, I can't wait till I'm done. I can kill myself. Like, that's something to look forward to. Even the grandfather is like, how about not? How about just think about living? You ever tried that? So it's a very weird. I mean, that whole scene where Mariko takes her knife out to Toranaga, the slightest bit of offense that you just like, I'm sorry, kill me now. Like, you could have just bumped into someone. I'm sorry, you can kill me. Here's my knife. And Toranaga smacks it away and then makes her choose, which was very confusing. But Yabushige in the hot springs and Buntaro almost killing Mariko and that whole thing, that was great. That because again, Toranaga's keeping Mariko alive for a reason. Toranaga is hamstringing Blackthorn and keeping him in the dark for a reason. How far? The whole time I'm like, how far is this plan? Is he improving? What of this is he improving? How much of this was planned out? You have no idea of knowing. And if you look at it, so the whole Nagakato bit is him building the character up until what he does at the end, right? He, of course, the people never been into battle are always eager to be the first ones into battle because they never experienced a horror. So from Nagakato's point of view, he's looking at his dad who has done nothing, just in action. So that's confusing. He doesn't understand the bigger picture and the weight and not taking the straight path into an attack, kind of going in a windy path and hitting from around, which is way more Toranaga's style than just like Crimson Skying it. And I'm sad I don't think we're going to see Crimson Sky, but
we don't know. You never know.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
All right, Ceren.
Well, like, it's so, I don't know, it's so obvious that they really want to kill themselves. But also, like, I think Toranaga asked that question because, like, if she chooses Anjin-sama, then this will mean, like, her disloyalty to Toranaga. But if she chooses, like, what's his name? I call him Burrito.
Burrito.
Like, yeah, because I know I one time like read Burrito, and now it's Burrito. This is like Burrito, and this will mean like, okay, like she's loyal to me. But also like you said, you never really know what's like calculated with him and what's not calculated. And I had this feeling of like him really having like almost like breadcrumbing Mariko, or like not Mariko, excuse me, breadcrumbing like John Blackthorn. So I know something will happen at the end, but I'm very curious to see. And also as for the the remainings of the baby and her family, I shed a few tears because it's so sad, and it was so sad. And then with Anjin, with the sword thingy, that he conveyed that emotion so well. I felt even very like unwell. I was like, okay, I felt like I actually felt how Anjin-sama felt in that scene. And yeah, I don't know, I'm very curious. And like, I'm very like curious of like where he will, like what's Toranaga's overall plan, master plan. We know something's coming, but we don't know what yet.
Okay, Andre's a pop culture guy. Andre's a pop culture guy. Are you a fan of Boruto? Did you say, Ceren?
Naruto?
No, I said
burrito
burrito.
or
Chipotle?
I thought you said you called one of the characters Boruto.
no.
I call him burrito because I read one time burrito. That's why.
Oh.
Like in the subtitles, I read burrito.
I thought you said Boruto. I was going to say Boruto is Naruto from Naruto Shippuden's son. But go ahead, Andre's the pop culture guy.
Own you, got you. Anyway, so yes, the sequence with, I mean, first off, again, the husband of Burrito, whatever his name is, he's doing more of the complaint. Actually, he's making more complaint than Blackbeard. So I will say Blackbeard was more mature in this episode than him. In this episode, just say. Anyway, so him coming to the tent, where Tanaga and Marco were talking about the will that he was making around that moment, and then all of a sudden he comes in, and he was a little it was, and in fact he's coming here, he's like, can I have my permission to kill Blackbeard? And I was like, why do you want to kill Blackbeard? He thinks he's making the moves on his wife, and it's like, no, he's like, your wife is working with the barbarian because he has no Japanese language. He's trying to translate what he's saying to us, the Japanese people there, Tanaga, and so it was just funny how, and it was very impressive how Tanaga was able to kind of exhalate his perception of Blackbeard, because we saw previously in, the scene where he, the other general was having fun playing, Blackthorn with the swords, and then all of a sudden, he comes in and he starts to attack him, and he has his sword to Blackbeard, and he didn't do anything, to slit his throat or anything. So, like, the intensity has been growing these last 2 or 3 episodes since he came back from the dead. That we know he wasn't dead, as usual, in horror movies. So I thought that that was great that he talked him down, and hopefully he doesn't act, really annoying. The scene with Mirko and the Tanaga, that was a great scene. I mean, I with that scene, I can understand where you guys coming from. I mean, yeah, it is kind of weird. He's trying to like push her to either do the sake, suicide, or join his side, because like he needs her to be part of this plan too. Like, we don't know what's his plan with Marco too in his plan, because we know about the Black Thorn plan, but what is his plan with other people that he wants to be in this army and this plan against the Chancellor? Like, so what's really going on here? So I think that scene was very powerful, and the actress that plays her is really great. I've been loving her ever since episode 1. That scene alone, she delivered that so well. What's the stopping point, Jeff? Just remind me.
You're at the stopping point.
Okay, yeah. So the other stuff is very filler. Seeing other characters talking. The son is when we get into the finale, like the final part, like he does the same mistake he did in episode 4. Yeah. So I get he's trying to impress his dad or trying to be a man, but it's like you're taking too much risk. So that's my thing.
Okay, most definitely. All right, Cyberneticshark, then I'll go to you, Mr. Rathacon.
Please refresh me on the section we're talking about, sir.
We're going all the way up to the part where we finally have that scene where Toranaga concedes. We're going before that.
Okay, simple and sweet, really great sequence, lots of great information, great acting, lots of fun going on in this sequence. I mean, you have so many things happening in between this, little things, little bit points that they point on. And I just think all of it was very entertaining and very fun. I really enjoyed it, and I thought that it was a really great part of the episode.
Okay, most definitely. Wrath of Condenser.
As I've said in the previous discussion, in Japanese society, ancient Japanese society, for a samurai to get approved for a divorce, he needs their daimyo to approve the divorce. And for a daimyo to get their divorce approved, they need to ask the regent or the shogun for approval for the divorce. So the many times that Buntaro has complained to Toranaga about Maiko and Blackthorn's closeness, it's all leading up to, I guess, convey a sign that he's looking to divorce Maiko. That is my assumption, because for all the other attempts that Buntaro's doing, if he understood the culture of ancient Japanese, like, you know, how the customs are with marriage and stuff, if he like really like understood how everything works, then he knows very well that all the stuff he's doing is going to lead exactly to what Toranaga has already said. Like that scene we saw where it's like, he wants Blackthorn dead. He should have known that Toranaga's going to be like, okay, you also have to behead your wife. But, you know, he chose not to. So, just from that, just with the context I've given, there is a good chance that Buntaro is going to divorce Maiko. That's it.
That's all you got, sir?
That's all I got, because everyone else knocked out all the other parts out of the park.
Okay, great job. That's a great way to end things right there. All right, so now we get the ending, right? We have the big procession where Toranaga concedes and says that he will go ahead and go back to, you know, the castle and whatnot and everything and face the regents. And everybody on all his people are up in arms. Blackthorn pitches a fit and gets up and says, fuck this. Y'all are dead. And takes off, right? Says, fuck this, you know, like we got all ready for nothing. Right? And then later on, Kiku sets up Psyche to get killed by Nagato and a squad of his dudes. And when Nagato goes to finish off Psyche with the killing blow, he gets caught up on a slippery rock with his long-ass robe and falls back and bashes his fucking head open on a fucking rock. Right? And fucking basically Psyche says, where's the beauty in that?
That's another great line.
Yep. So there you go. That's the ending. I'll go with ladies first on this one. Ceren, your thoughts on the ending of chapter 7?
Hold on.
Okay, I can go to somebody else. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, that rock scene was a bit like, ugh. I felt the pain in my head when he, you know, clashed on that rock. And what else? It was a really like good ending to the episode, I have to say. I mean, it obviously gave me like wanting more, but you know, I'm still very excited for episode 8. But the setting up thingy, I was like, I wanted to know like why, and like why now and not, you know, maybe like in the next episode or something. So I was kind of like confused. But other than that, yeah, I have to think. I always go to the others before I think.
Okay, that's fine. Collect your thoughts, and I'll go back to you. I'll go back to you, Imran, and let you kind of start this one off and whatnot and everything.
Well, we learned some interesting things, right? We learned that story, the flashback we saw, that it wasn't quite as clean as this legends tell, and it took them 9 times 9 whacks to get that head off, which is horrifying for a 12-year-old. And Toranaga has a great line. He's like, who picks a child as their second? It's just ridiculous.
And it reflects to the Tycho.
Yeah, because that's who did it. I thought Blackthorn yelling at them at the end was hilarious because they don't know what the fuck he's saying until he says "you're all dead" in Japanese. Like all that passion, I was like, "You're wasting your breath, buddy." And yeah, the attack was wild. So Nagakado is just a fucking idiot. This kid is an idiot. He's been obsessed with death, obsessed with fighting, doesn't know any real consequence. And Toranaga, this whole time, has been trying to teach his son, and his son is not learning. I mean, even when Psycho hands him the death letter, he gives it to him, and Nagakado's about to grab it. And Toranaga smacks his hand away. He's like, what are you doing? That's a death sentence. Do not touch that, you idiot kid. Like, you could just tell Toranaga's like, my son is a fucking idiot. And this last move clearly proved it. Because when that happened, I was like, did he just slip and fall? And he did this to himself? What a dummy. Oh, my God. Tragic. Now, I'm wondering how this is going to affect Toranaga's plan. This is not in the plan. And I also heard this isn't even in the book. This is a deviation from the book, which is very interesting, you know, sending Toranaga into other places. Now, Toranaga surrendering, on the one hand, he's got an entry into Osaka, into the enemy's land. He's literally just going to walk right in the front door. I don't know if that's part of the plan, but it's kind of clever. It's getting him there where he needs to be. But when he surrendered, I was like, holy shit. Oh, shit, you're going to surrender. Oh, my God. I was just like everybody else. Like, bro, what? When did you think of this? What is the plan? How about you fill us in? And he's got nothing. But yeah, that ending was shocking and wild and bloody. And it wasn't an honorable death as he's just laying there gurgling in his own blood. Well, I think he slipped on his uncle's robe, actually, which is even more ironic.
Dumb.
Yeah.
He did. He slipped on the robe.
What an idiot that kid is. That's what I got out of this episode.
Okay. Cyberneticshark, sir.
All right. So the conclusion of this episode, hands down, the death of Toranaga's son was a mindfuck, 100%. I was like literally, utterly sitting there going, what did I just watch? I'm like, holy crap. Like, I felt like, I kept feeling like throughout episodes, is Toranaga's son going to get killed here? Is something going to happen to him? And, you know, it kept going on, nothing happened to him. I'm like, okay. And when that happened at the end of this episode, I was like blown away. And because of how that happened, I was like, I have to go on to the next episode to see what happens. So that ending is like so cool because the fighting was really interesting. I thought it was really well situated in that hut that they were in. The look on Toranaga's brother's face, I thought was priceless, knowing that he could be killed. I mean, the fact that Toranaga's son slipped and fell and hit his head and died, I was like, I'm sorry, but the chances of that happening was like 1 in a billion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I don't know if anybody else noticed, but if you noticed, Toranaga's brother's, like, outfit thing that he was wearing is on the dock where he walks, and that's what makes him slip.
Yeah.
So, I think that actually the brother actually pulled it and caused him to fall.
Oh.
But at the same time, from what I've seen and something that Toranaga says later on, I feel that was a planned thing too, that what? he wanted he had to sacrifice his son.
Whoa.
In order to push his plan on, unfortunately.
Whoa.
Or buy time.
Yeah, buy time, basically. So, I mean, like I said, as when we get to the next episode, you'll see what I'm talking about. But there is a lot more going on than one meets the eye, and this ending was a beginning cursor to that, which I really appreciated. So, all in all, the ending was really done well. I mean, lots of great conversation, lots of great things going on. Overall, a really satisfying conclusion to this episode. Very, very entertaining and very enjoyable.
Okay. Kim, your audio all of a sudden just got really messed up. Did you change something?
Oh, wait, hold on. What about now?
Oh, there you go. You're good. Kim, you came back.
Huh?
You came back.
Yeah, I did. I had to charge my phone up for a little bit.
You're good. Listen, we're doing our final remarks on the ending of the episode. I'll go to you. What do you think? What are your thoughts on the ending?
Okay, so at the end, so I'm trying to figure out if do y'all think what's his name was getting set up after he was Seiki? Am I saying Seiki? Am I saying it right? Seiki?
Yeah. Seiki, yeah.
Yeah, Seiki. Do you think he was getting set up whenever when he was doing what's her name and then she
Kiku set him up.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay, I figured that's what it was because the way it all came up. But it's like it goes to show you. It's kind of like somebody said it earlier. How it's like you've got someone who's got the passion that wants to fight and wants to go to war, and then it's like, and then here we are, and he dies. Like Nagakado, like he dies trying to kill trying to kill Seiki and trying to like go to war. And it's like, and then all of a sudden it seems like reality kind of hit Seiki in a way, and he was just like, almost like there's so much like beauty and everything, like this violence and betrayal. And
he actually said where's the beauty in this? Yeah.
Okay, there is no beauty. Okay, I was kind of okay. I saw that wrong then. Okay, but now now it makes more sense because I was about to say I was like that didn't make any sense. That was weird, but it's really dark. I'm just really curious as to how it's going to turn. But before that, when like whenever Mariko was like trying to do the thing like kill herself or whatever, or she wanted Taraga to kill her. I guess like it is like suicide.
Seppuku.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it's called. And it was like what really fascinating was very interesting was Montero's reaction, like the way he was acting, like because he seemed like really sick to his stomach, like he didn't want to do it, like kill her if he had to or whatever. But
no, it's like a love triangle because he actually loves Mariko.
Yeah, right. And then it also makes you think too, like where was he at that whenever he was gone? And it's just a lot. I don't know. I'm just curious as to what's going to happen next. So it's going to play out. But it was good. It was interesting, but just made me sad at the end though. Like because I liked him. I
did too. I think everybody was shocked. Like it's like Imran said, they needed to give us some oh shit moments. They gave us an oh shit moment with that one.
Yeah, but he deserved that. The kid was an idiot. They just making dumb decisions left and right. It came and bit him.
I'm surprised he survived all the way to chapter 7. Chapter 7.
Sure, yeah, that is true. He did make a lot of silly mistakes, but then again, he was young. So.
Yeah. And he never even pillowed anybody before.
No, yeah, that's true.
You don't know that, Jeff. You don't know that.
They said earlier he never even pillowed anybody before.
Where's your proof?
They said later on in the episode that he hadn't killed anybody or pillowed anybody.
True, that's it.
Yeah.
So he died without even having him pillowed, bro. That's rough.
So he died.
That's okay. He will get 72 of those in heaven.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sure they have pillowing in heaven. I didn't think about that. Although the way that after what he did with that cannon attack in chapter 3 or whatnot, everything, I don't really see him going to heaven. But
actually, we'll see. He died a martyr. How about that?
All right. Well, I'm gonna go over to you, Rathacon, next. Go ahead.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so Imran, I'm gonna say actually Toranaga-san, he was smart. Okay, the way how he destroyed Ishido's forces, and I think episode 3 with the cannons,
that was
very smart.
Yeah,
very smart. Also, that was so smart of him to attack Seiki at his most vulnerable place, which is the Willow World.
Sure,
okay,
yeah, that's true.
It was just, how do I say this? It was just luck that Seiki survived. Okay, like it was luck. Otherwise, the ambush was
not what Toranaga wants.
Like, sometimes in a fight, in a battle, things like luck and things like that happen.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, what Toranaga-san has done, you know, with destroying Shido's forces with the cannons, like, I think just that alone just helped me understand that Toranaga-san may actually be smarter than Toranaga. Because, you know, you have all these forces right there. Okay, this is episode 3 we're talking about. You destroy them so you can live in peace. Okay, he could have done the same in this episode, but luck had it. He died. His forces died. So on. One thing that I was really intrigued by is during that whole ambush, I did not see Umi. The reason why I was surprised is because normally I would assume Umi would have the connection to Lady Kiku to organize this ambush, not Toranaga-san, because I've never seen Toranaga-san talk to anyone from the Willow World. Yeah. So that's where I'm like, where's Umi?
They didn't have enough time in the episode to fit in that conversation.
That is very true.
It was short. It was short.
Also, it was very short indeed. I was very disappointed with the whole, like, he slipped, died. Like, that just shows it was luck. Just luck was on safety side.
They pulled off a good death, too. The actor did a good job with his, like, laboring breathing in there at the end and all that shit and whatnot. Yeah. You know, like, prolonging the death, right?
Mm-hmm. And, yeah. Okay, going back, before the ambush, it was very interesting to see Seiki get choked while having fun.
Oh, like, yeah, that was great.
I just would not expect that from anyone. Like, and then he's like,
I didn't see that. Kiko was choking him?
Yeah, she had a thing around his neck. Yeah.
Yeah, like he had like a tie wrapped around.
So she used one of her sex toys finally?
Yeah. It's just like a tie, you know. You just use someone's tie.
How did I miss that shit, man? I don't get down with all that choking shit. I don't personally. I know it's Jeff S. TrueKnowledge, and I'm down with everything in the bedroom. I bang trannies and shit and all that, but like still, I don't get down with the choking.
Okay, it was so funny though that as he was being choked, right? Yeah. It was like, when this is over, I'll bring you to my castle in Edu, build you a palace of your own. My 7th consort.
It was such a good choke. There must have been some good choke.
And I kid you not, okay? You know how the whole scene ended? The whole action ended? It's not when he, you know, feels that relaxation. It's right when he's about to choke to death. That's a key thing. It's like, he didn't finish the whole action. He just, when he's near death, that's when he stops. Just something to keep in mind.
You don't know that. I'm not a person that gets choked.
No, I know that because he was literally like, he sounded like, that's how he stopped.
Maybe he busted a nut right at that point too.
I don't think so. I don't think so. But they were very quiet. I will say that too. Like, you know, they show like the outside of the Willow Road.
Like he would have said, "I'm coming," but he was too busy being choked.
He was too busy being like, "I will build you a palace of you." Dude.
That was so much fun.
Jess, you got half the panel sprung there, bro. I'm gonna give you 500 points on that. Cyber seems bemused, but
okay.
Cyber Jessica's got jokes, bro.
What have all you been drinking? Jesus Christ.
Everybody.
Bro, I don't drink, man, against my religion. Okay, Cyber. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Also, I was very surprised. He has 6 consorts. Like, how?
One for every day of the week. Makes sense.
Yeah, see,
I would have like 100 if it was me. I'd have 100 of them.
Okay, but all these other people,
I believe
they don't even have. Okay.
I like variety.
Only
I like variety.
wait. Blackthorn, only one. Okay, he's a Hatamoto. Okay, all these other regions, only one.
That's
This
not
guy
Blackthorn's
has
fault.
six?
Blackthorn. That's all Blackthorn. Blackthorn could be pillowing it all up. I mean, are you kidding me? You think there ain't some? You think there ain't some chicks in that village that don't want some barbarian strange? You know what I'm saying?
Seiki bought a 6-pack. He got from Jin.
Some savage strange, baby.
Okay.
And his eyes, like, he's very attractive.
Okay, so describe more. Why are you attracted to him? Describe more. Tell me. Well, why don't you like Seiki? Come on. Seiki's gonna build you a castle in Edo. Come on.
Seiki is pretty
Don't
hot.
you want that?
He's hot too.
Okay, so
What?
I would say like
Seiki's pretty hot.
Seiki, right?
I don't know. For to me, it's like Blackthorn because like he looks very European and has a 6-pack. That's it.
He has a 6-pack.
And his eyes are
but he's not gonna build you a castle.
I don't give a fuck about the castle.
You see, folks. This is what's wrong with the things these days. You gotta have a 6-pack if you're a dude these days to be able to step up to chicks like Ceren.
Yeah, building a castle's not enough, man.
All right, Jassim, wrap up your thoughts, sir, on the ending.
I had high hopes for Toranaga-san, and he was a very smart guy. He did not deserve that death, but I will accept it. And I guess it buys Toranaga time for, to escape his execution.
Okay, going back to you, Ceren. Have you collected your thoughts? Do you have any final thoughts on the ending?
See, like Toranaga-san was, I don't know why you call him smart, but he was dumb. He was like very dumb. Like he slipped on a rope and like on a rope? Yeah, on a rope, and then he just crashed. And also like his like whole actions throughout the series were also dumb. And so, but also like his obsession with like getting his father's approval was like very kind of like foreshadowy what might happen, which he died in a very very dumb way. But also like the setup of him as well. So I don't know. He made dumb choices, should I say? Or like not dumb, but like I would say like immature choices, which does make sense, but I don't know.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, most definitely. Imran, I got you in already. You have any final thoughts?
No, I agree with Ceren. I'm on the Nagakato is an idiot side, not on Jassim's Nagakato as a smart kid side. I just want to make my stance clear.
Okay, we lost Andre's the pop culture guy. I'm sure he'll come back. Why don't we go ahead and do ratings and wrap this up? Plug out of here. I'll start off with you, Cyber, and then I'll go over to you, Imran. Then I'll go to you, Kim. Rating, sir.
10. Solid 10, sir.
Another 10 from Cyber. Imran.
Yeah, I would give it a 9. I kind of feel like every episode gets better and better also as the series goes on. It's kind of crazy. So, but yeah, it's a 9 for me.
That's a good sign for any series, I think. If you're doing better from episode to episode, that's good.
That's what you
want. What do you think, Kim? What's your rating?
I'll give this one a 9.5. It was really, really good.
Okay, everybody's high on this one. Rathakan?
9.5.
Oh, you copied Kim? I understand. That's fine. I don't blame you. Ceren, what's your rating?
Honestly, this was, at first, it felt like very fillerishy, so I would give it a 7. But then, after watching it 3 times, I really liked it. I would give it a 9. Like, it didn't really top episode 3 for me, but I would give it a 8.5, 9.5, something in that range.
Okay, so we'll call that a 9 then.
Yeah.
To be fair, it says 9. I'm going to give it an 8.5. I don't think it was one of the strongest episodes. I think that I think they were setting up chapter 8, 9, and 10 with these last 2 episodes. And Andres is coming back on, so we'll give him a chance to do his rating when he comes back on and whatnot and everything. Who knows how long that rating could take? It could take 20 minutes. But let's do our plugs and get out of here while we're waiting for him to come back on. And I'll start off with Mr. Cyberneticshark, sir. Go at it. You've got the floor.
Oh, how I have the floor. Oh, thank you so much. All right, guys, if you enjoyed me here on the YouTube channel here, the MCU'S Bleeding Edge, you can check out my solo content. You can find me also on YouTube. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, Threads, pretty much anywhere there's a social media platform, I'm there, so check it out. You can see here my most recent review there, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Check that out if you like. Got some more stuff coming up for you guys, some more reviews. Should be having my Godzilla vs. Kong a new Empire up soon, along with Monkey Man. Got some new trailers coming out for you guys too as well, so keep your eyes on for that and stuff. And yeah, I'll be having more stuff for you guys soon, just working on stuff. Definitely check out if you haven't checked out any of my newer stuff, so definitely give it a roll, people. Like I said, I'm over that 1,000 mark. I'm up to 1,073, so let's keep on trucking. Let's keep hitting those marks.
There you go, folks. Next, let's see who we have next on the list here. All right. So we'll go to you first, Ceren. After that, Ceren, the floor is yours, my friend.
So I have a podcast, and on my Instagram account, I just did 2 trailer reactions for Maxine, and also for Joker 2. And tomorrow, actually like today, because it's Thursday here, a new episode of my podcast will be released. And I also have a YouTube channel.
I've got it pulled up right here.
Yeah. So I always post the video versions of my podcast guests, and I've been very lucky with my guests. I had some producers, some actresses, writers, and many more will be coming very soon.
You're gonna make TrueKnowledge a guest too, right?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Also, I will be a guest on Kim's podcast actually.
Mm-hmm.
You hear that, Kim? Ceren wants to be on your podcast.
Yeah, I know we talked today. I'm so excited. We have to get. I would love to get all of y'all on.
That's awesome. We'd love to hear that. I'm glad you guys.
Yeah, I'd love to get all of y'all on.
I'm sorry I didn't connect. I'm sorry I wasn't able to connect with you guys before. But the episode you were supposed to be on together was when you missed each other, or else I would.
I remember that.
That was because of the time difference. It was
yes, it was.
I was a bit
too late. But that's great. And Kim, of course, you need to get me on your show too. I'm going to go to you for your plugs.
Yeah.
Andre's the pop culture guy. You're back.
Yes.
Andres, give us our rating on chapter 7, sir.
Oh, so I don't have any opinions on the last part.
Yes, sir. You can give your final opinions on the ending, sir, and your rating.
I'm joking, guys. Anyway, yeah, just quickly, I'm happy that the son's dead. He was making a lot of mistakes. I mean, the fact that he was gonna accept the paper that was gonna make him kill himself was just wow. How, what's your tradition and your culture? When you get something from a high up, it's it's serious. It's come on, dude. So I was just when he hit the rock, I was oh my god! It was like a cartoon. It was like Looney Tunes all over again. It's oh, it was oh my god, the blood was spooling up. I was oh my god, and it was just wow, he died in a very shameful way. So I wasn't that sad about his death, his passing. I don't know how, because Taranaga's and his son's relationship was very cold to begin with, and so yeah, I'm very curious how, as Cyber kind of alluded it before, how this is going to affect the overall plot for moving into the 3 last episodes. So I'm very curious about that. So overall, I would rate this episode maybe 9 out of 10. I think it was still good. I think the production is still great. All the performances were great. It's just it's just that that deaf kid was like, okay, I'm gonna kill you, and bam, death by a rock, slipped by a rope. A robe. Yeah, robe. That robe.
Yes. It was a part of the rope from the feudal Japanese sex toy with the rock and the rope.
I wasn't on there, folks.
That's where the rope came from.
Google
Kim, the Pop Culture Green Room podcast.
Yes, Pop Culture Green Room podcast. It's a podcast that started with my twin sister. We made a year in February, and then we got on YouTube in October. So right now, YouTube, we're getting there. We started off.
Oh, I got your YouTube too.
Yeah, so got that. And we started off, we're very different. We're twins, and then I was in San Diego, she was in Louisiana, and we really had nothing in common. But every time we talked, we always talked about like pop culture, celebrity gossip, reality TV trash, and then we were like, let's do a podcast, and so we did one. So, but yeah, we covered like pretty much all things pop culture, a lot of celebrity news, gossip, a lot of Bravo TV, reality TV, but probably a lot of Bravo TV. Yeah, mostly Bravo TV for reality TV. But yes, it's a lot of fun, and we like I said, we're growing. We've got we even had some friends from Cirque du Soleil we interviewed. That was fun. We have all kinds of guests we got coming on. Hopefully, I'm going to get my cousin soon. One, she's an executive producer of Quantum Leap, and then, which unfortunately I found out that just got canceled. But she does like a lot of directing, producing.
I love that show. I was sad.
Oh yeah, I know. I just found out like yesterday because she like made a post about it, and I was like, I didn't even know it was canceled. It's just like same how she was like devastated and everything, but because that was her baby, she was one of the creators of it, of the original one. So
wow,
yeah. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, we're probably gonna get her on soon.
I've got somebody you should probably have on.
I'm about that life. Ask P. Diddy. I just came from his house, even though I'm feeling funny after drinking P. Diddy juice. Wait, what the fuck? What's happening here?
Oh my god!
And he hangs out with P. Diddy too, apparently.
We did cover P. Diddy. I did do a deep dive on him on one of my recent episodes. But
oh my god, I have to listen to that episode.
Oh yeah, thanks. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We like doing it and like engaging with other people and stuff. But yeah, it's like I liked it, and I'm so happy to be here. I'm glad that y'all found me, and like I look forward to this. This is so much fun because I don't have much of a social life since I've been down in the bayou.
Are you down in the bayou? I forgot. Are you in Louisiana?
Yeah, I'm in Louisiana. Yep.
My daughter was born in West Monroe.
And, really?
And yeah, I lived in Louisiana too. I used to live in West Monroe.
Oh, did you? Oh, you know what? You did tell me.
I told you I met my ex-wife over in the western part of Louisiana, over in Cajun country.
Yeah, you did. You did tell me that. I do.
I lived in the swamps. Jermaine, that's coming on Fallout with us on Saturday, is a teacher over in Louisiana.
Oh, is he? Really?
Yeah, he is. You'll see him in the chat.
Nice.
But let me move on next over here to Mr. Imran. Mr. Imran, would you like me to pull up your YouTube channel or your podcast first?
You can do the podcast first. We're primarily an audio podcast. I co-host the Jock and Nerd Podcast with my friend Anthony and a puppet named Rug Boy, covering all sorts of geek stuff. New episodes every Wednesday. Latest episode, we reviewed Monkey Man and Invincible Season 2. It's one of the best comic book things on TV is Invincible and The Boys. And the Season 2 is great. And then speaking of...
And you did Ghostbusters too? You should have had me on. I reviewed Ghostbusters twice last month.
Yeah, we did the original Ghostbusters because I haven't even seen the new one. Because the original...
No, the original one.
It's it's not good, don't
No,
watch
that's
it.
why. I was like, I don't think this is going to be good. Let's just go back and talk about the OG, which is a classic. But speaking of doing a podcast with your sister, I also do a second podcast. It's called Dance of Joy, a Perfect Strangers Rewatch podcast, where me and my sister have been rewatching this 80s sitcom, Perfect Strangers, that you were probably all too old to remember. It had Balki Bartakamus, Larry Appleton. It's like 32 years old. So that's a lot of fun. We loved it when we were kids, and it's actually still really funny. Like 35 years later, I was surprised. And that's fun, just retro nostalgia, having to explain what a mimeograph machine is or what this, stuff like that comes up. Landlines. It's great to see. You're like, remember that?
That's so cool. I love that show, Perfect Strangers.
Oh, see, there's a Perfect Strangers fan. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to listen.
There's a Prime one.
Well, there you go. There's a Jock and Nerd podcast on YouTube right there. Just so y'all can see it real quick. Make sure you subscribe. All right, moving on down the line. Andre's the pop culture guy, sir.
Yes. Hello, everyone. This is Andre's Pop Culture Guy. I'm up to 925 subscribers. This is my channel presents. Recently, me and Jeff did a live stream review on Captain America: The Winter Soldier for his 10th anniversary. Soon, next Saturday, April 14th, watch for us with the live stream review of Chucky Season 3 Part 2.
Sunday, not Saturday.
Sunday. I say Sunday. I didn't say Saturday. But, anyway. Sunday, folks. Sunday, April something. Okay? So we're going to review episode 5 and 6 together, and then we'll review the last episodes in the next following week. So that's our plan here. I just recently posted my me and Chet did a trailer reaction on Beetlejuice. Check that out. I just posted right there. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now with my content. So thank you, everyone. Please help me and Cyber hit that mark. It helps.
All right, there you go, folks. We are out of here. Peace out. Thank you very much to everybody on the panel. We love all of you. God bless everybody out there. Peace. We out.
Peace. Bye.
Bye. Later.
Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. Soon as we step out the cage, we raising all of the stakes. Make no mistake. Either